Hi everyone, it is Alex with Holistic Movement Pilates. Today I have a reformer class for you that is going to be focused on lower body. We are going to use a box for props, and then we are going to use weights as well today. I have a heavy set of weights and a medium set of weights. I have 10s, 5s. If I had 8s, honestly I would use 8s instead of 10s. So go a medium set and a heavy set for you, whatever that means. Footbar's at the starting position, and then I am going to start a little heavier with my footwork today just because it is leg focused. I'm going to go 3 heavy springs and a medium. You can go lighter than that, you can go heavier than that, it is up to you. And then when we lie down on our reformers, we're going to have our weights to the sides. I'm going to grab my heavier set of weights and then just make sure they're easily accessible at the side. So if you have your box on the side like me, I would just set it on the box. Otherwise it can be on the floor. We're going to lie ourselves down, and when we do so, we need to start with the headrest all the way down because we are going to begin with bridging today. I'm going to start with my heels on the foot bar parallel with each other, just about that sits bone distance away, so about a 1/5 distance away from each other. And then from here, I'm going to take an inhale in my neutral spine, and then on my exhale, I'm going to flatten my low back down into the carriage. And beginning at my tailbone, I'm going to start to roll my spine up off the carriage. Now, as I roll up, my knees and feet are staying parallel with each other. I'm thinking about sending my tailbone to the backs of my knees. I'm taking an inhale at the top, and then on my exhale, I'm articulating my spine all the way back down into my carriage. Again, I'm going to inhale in my neutral. Exhale, I'm flattening my low back down, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time. Taking an inhale again at the top, and then exhaling as I articulate my spine all the way back down into the carriage. And then again, inhaling my neutral. Let's keep going. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more bridges. Think nice long line from the knee to the shoulder. And then last one. Again, inhaling at the top, and then exhaling as I articulate my spine all the way back down. Okay, now once I come down, I'm going to bring it back into my neutral. I'm going to keep my heels on parallel with each other. Now, if you would like your headrest to go up, your headrest can go all the way back up. And then I'm going to grab my weights into my hands. I feel like I'm already almost regretting these 10s. Okay, weights in hands. Arms are going to go up to the ceiling. My palms are going to be rotated towards my foot bar. From here, I'm going to bend my elbows wide at a 90-degree angle. We're going to go chest press with legs today. So on an exhale, I'm going to push my carriage out, reach my weights up to the ceiling. I'm going to bend my elbows back at that 90 as I come back in. So I'm going to exhale to push, inhaling as I come back in. And as always, since we're exhaling out, I want everything engaged. Legs, core, arms. Exhale, press. Inhale, we're bending wide as we come back in. 3 and 1. And then once we come back in, we'll pause in. We'll keep those elbows bent at that 90. We're going to go arches of our feet onto the foot bar. They'll stay that same distance away. Again, chest press, exhale out. Inhale, bend wide to come back in. Holding our neutral spines the entire time. Let's do 4 and 1. And then again, once I come back in, I'm going to pause. I'm going to go toes, balls of my feet onto the foot bar. They're again staying that same distance away from each other. Elbows bent, wide to the sides 90. Chest press with the toes. Exhale, push. Inhale back. And I like a nice little lift of the toes too. Sacrum heavy, pelvis stay still. Legs, core, arms, all working as we go out. Resist the springs as we come back in. 3 more. And then last one. Okay, now once we come back in, I'm gonna pause in. I'm gonna set one of my weights to the sides just because I'm super heavy today. Tricep extension, we're gonna keep the toes, balls of the feet on. Both hands are gonna take the weight. I'm gonna take it behind my head, just kind of readjust myself here into my shoulder blocks. I'm gonna push my carriage out one time. I'm lowering my heels underneath the foot bar. When I lift my heels, I'm gonna extend the weight up to the ceiling, bend my knees and elbows, lift the weight and the heels at the same time towards the ceiling. Again, maintaining our neutral spines. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. We want the backs of the legs into the glutes firing on that lift. 3, 2, 1, and then bring it all the way back in. Okay, set that weight off to the side. I'm gonna take my heels back onto the foot bar, slide them all the way out to the sides again so we're in our wide second position. From here, headrests are fine to stay up. I'm going to flatten my low back down into the carriage and just lift my pelvis about a fist distance off the carriage. On an exhale, I'm gonna push my carriage all the way out, squeezing my glutes, and I'm resisting as I come back in. Exhaling as I push away, inhaling as I resist back in. Keeping that hover of my pelvis the entire time. Okay, I'm gonna go for 3, 2, and 1. Then once I come back in, I'm gonna pause in. I'm just gonna roll my spine all the way back down into the carriage, bring myself back into a neutral, and then we are gonna sit ourselves off to the sides of our reformers. When we come off to the sides, I'm deciding that these 10s are a little too heavy for me. I'm gonna switch them out for my mediums weights, which are a 5. I'm gonna go on to 1 heavy and 1 light spring. So 1 heavy, 1 light. Grab your medium weights. The box is gonna start, so just a reminder, if we're lying down on a reformer, it's gonna start off to the right side. I have my long box on the floor. It's flush up against my carriage and it's up against my foot bar. Weights are in our hands. I'm gonna stand on my box facing my carriage. We're gonna start with some curtsy lunges today. So I'm gonna take both of my feet to the front left corner of my box. And then once I get them here, I'm gonna take my right foot behind me onto the shoulder block. My toes are curled and my foot is kind of on the outside here of that shoulder block. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep my right leg long when I push the carriage out. I'm gonna bend my left knee, and as I do so, I'm gonna hinge forward, lift my arms out to a T, and then I'm gonna stand back up straight onto my left leg. So when I bend my left knee, I'm hinging forward in a flat back, and I'm trying to push my right leg long. And then when we do stand back up, just know obviously you will get a little bend to the right knee. Sink down and stand up. And I'm exhaling out here and I'm inhaling back. Find your balance in that left leg. We're gonna do 4, woo, 2. Okay, on this last one, I'm gonna hold my carriage out. Okay, now from here, arms are gonna stay out to a T. I'm gonna bend my right knee, push, bend my right knee and push. Inhale, bend, exhale, press. Try to keep those arms out to a T. Abs are into our back. Squeeze your glutes as you push. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, stand back up shoulders. Okay, now I'm gonna take my right foot onto the box, and then this time we're gonna keep the right foot on the box. My left foot is gonna step back to the shoulder block. This time my foot is where my shoulder is usually at, it's not off to the side. And then my heel is lifted, up. Okay, we're gonna bend our right knee, hinge forward, and this time I'm gonna bend my elbows wide at a 90 to roll up. And then when I extend my right leg, my arms go long. So same thing as before, but we're bending the elbows to pull up and then extending. Exhale, push, inhale back. Bending the right knee to go out. Try to straighten your left leg. And then push into your right heel to stand back up. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 more. Woo, abs are in. And then on this last one, hold those arms, just bend your left, extend, bend, extend. Keep your right knee bent, abs are in. Elbows are lifted. Inhale, exhale, inhale in, exhale out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand all the way back up. Ooh, okay, lots of shoulders. We're gonna step off to the side. I'm gonna set my weights just off to the side. We aren't gonna use them for the next round. My box now is going to go on my carriage, short box on against my shoulder blocks. And now I'm adding on a medium spring with my existing heavy and light. So 1 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light. We're gonna kneel on our boxes, facing the straps. Elbows can be on the edge of the box, or you can take your hands on the outside of the headrest. It's really up to you. Once you get yourselves set up, the right heel, again, heel, is gonna go onto the foot bar. If you're like heel arch, that's fine. Shoulders, hips are parallel to the floor, abs are into our backs. We're gonna exhale to push our carriage away, squeeze your glute, and then inhale back. Exhale out, inhale back. Again, hands can either be on the shoulder or on the headrest like me, or you can be down onto your forearms. If this is too heavy, take off that light spring. Exhale, push, inhale back. Again, I'm squeezing my butt as I push away. I'm scooping into my abs. And then I should just be looking straight down towards the floor. So we're lengthening here through the crown of the head. I'm gonna do 3. And then on this last one, I'm gonna hold my carriage out. I'm gonna bend, come halfway in, push all the way out, halfway in, all the way out, halfway in, all the way out. I want you to think break with your glute and push from your glute. Break with the glute, push from the glute, break, push. 5, 3, 1, and in. Okay, now once we come back in, we're gonna pause. We're gonna do the same thing on the left side. So again, left heel is gonna go on. Again, if you're like heel arch, that's fine. Toes, knees should be pointed to the floor. Again, hands can either be where mine are at, or elbows can be on the box. We're exhaling again to push out, squeezing our glutes, resisting as we come back in. Again, think squeeze your glutes right where your butt connects to your leg. Scoop into your core. And then we want to think lengthening here throughout the crown of the head. So oppositional pull as we push out. We're lengthening through the heel and the crown of the head, resisting it. Okay, Okay, we're gonna do 3 more here, and then we're doing halfway pulses. Last one. Now this time we go halfway in, all the way out, halfway in, all the way out. I break with my heel, I push from my heel, so I break from my glute, I push from my glute. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and all the way back in. Feel free to relax back. We're gonna step off to the sides, and then our long boxes are going on the floor. Again, up against a carriage, up against a foot bar, and now I'm taking off that medium spring. So I'm back onto a heavy and a light spring. I'm gonna grab my medium, again, my 5s for weights, and we're gonna stand on our box. We're starting with curtsies first. So standing to the front right corner, the right foot now stays. The left foot goes back to that shoulder block. Again, my toes are curled and my foot is more on like the outside part of my shoulder block into curtsy lunges. As we push out, arms open out to a T, and then we bring it back. The idea is that we're bending our right knee to push out. We're extending our right leg to come back in. Find a spot and focus on that for balance. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. Then on this last one, hold the arms stay. Now we bend the left leg, we extend, we bend, we extend. Abs are in. Try to keep those arms out if you can. Keep your right knee bent. Squeeze your butt. 3, 2, 1, and back. Whew. Okay, step your left foot back into just a normal lunge. So now the left foot stays on the box, the right foot goes back. Again, it's right where your shoulder now would usually be. It's not on the outside. The toes are curled, the heels lifted. This time we're bending the elbows to row the arms up. So as I bend my left knee and I push out, I hinge forward, I pull my weights to my armpits, and I extend back up. Elbows go wide out to the sides. Exhale down, inhale up. Again, sink into your left leg. Push into your left foot to come back up. Exhale, inhale up. Okay, I'm gonna go for 4, 2. Now last one, we're gonna hold here. Now we bend the right and extend. Try to keep those weights to your armpits, elbows out. Left knee bent, abs are into your backs. Bend, press, bend, press. Squeeze your booties when we go out. 4, 3, again, scoop into your core. 2, 1, and up. Ooh, okay, relax your arms. We're gonna step off of our box, and we can just put the weights off to the sides for now. Okay, add on your medium string again, unless the last set of glutes was too heavy. Do 1 heavy, 1 medium instead of the heavy, medium, light. Short box is gonna go on. Again, in front of your shoulder blocks. This time, external rotation. So I'm gonna kneel facing my box. I'm going to have my left forearm down onto the box. It should be parallel to your shoulder blocks. My right hand is just gonna hold onto the back corner of my box. And then I'm gonna rotate to the right. So my left leg is kind of up against the box here. My right foot is parallel on the foot bar. My toes, knees, shoulders, and hips are pointed towards the right side. We're gonna push out and in. Again, if that's too heavy, go one heavy, one medium string. I'm on a light, medium, and a heavy. Keep your foot parallel on the foot bar. We're trying to work a little more into the outsides of our glutes. Glute med, glute min. And still think an active core. Push, resist, push, resist. Okay, 3 more. 2, 1. Okay, no pulses on this one. We're gonna rotate to the left now. So right forearm should be parallel to your shoulder blocks when it's on the box. External rotation, again, my right leg is like up against the box here. My left foot should be parallel on the foot bar. We're gonna exhale, push out, and in, out, and in. And think abs are in to our backs. Three more. And 1. Okay, now once we come back in, we're gonna pause. Go ahead, step off to the side. Now, I'm gonna go 1 heavy, 1 light spring. I'm gonna take that medium off. And then I'm gonna take my box, and it's actually gonna go on the frame of the carriage towards the back. And I'm gonna take my straps off just because I think they're gonna pull my carriage out a little too much. Okay, now I have long legs, so I'm gonna push my box all the way to the back so it's right by those posts that hold onto my shoulder blocks. Obviously, if you have shorter legs, scoot your box a little closer. And then I am gonna grab my 5s for weights, and we're gonna sit on our boxes and face the carriage. Now, when we sit, we face the carriage. Again, if you can't sit here and take your heels up against the shoulder blocks, you need to scoot your box a little further forward. If you can just scoot your butt further forward, you can always scoot your butt further forward. And then we're gonna start with no weights first, and then eventually we are going to incorporate weights. Okay, hands can start at our sides. We're sitting up nice and tall on top of our sits bones. On an exhale, I'm gonna bend my knees to pull the box in, and I'm gonna inhale, extend the legs back out. Exhale to pull, inhale, extend. It should be all over those legs. So hamstrings, quads, hip flexors. Think scoop into your core to pull in and extend out. So get the feel for it, and then we are gonna add in weights after 3, 2, and then last one. Okay, now once we extend the legs, we're gonna pause. We're gonna grab our weights into our hands. Our arms now are going to open out to the sides of the room, and the palms are gonna be flipped up towards the ceiling. Now, I have a little bend to my elbows too here. As I bend my knees, I'm gonna rotate my torso to the right side of the room. I'm gonna inhale, go center. Then I'm gonna pull back in and rotate to the left. And I'm gonna inhale and go center. So exhale, pull and rotate right. Inhale, exhale, pull, rotate left, and inhale. Rotation, we want to come right from our rib cage, right from our brow line, getting our obliques to fire. Our sits bones are staying anchored down into the box. Now, if this is too much for shoulders, obviously you can ditch the weights and just do the movement of the spine. So this should be all over. Arms, legs, core. 4 more. 3. 1 more right, 1 more left. Last one left. And back. Ooh. Okay, relax the arms. You can set the weights to the sides. I'm gonna reach my fingers to my toes. Head's heavy, chest heavy, just hold. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead, stack our spines back up. Now, This is where it gets a little tricky, is moving on this. I'm just gonna kick my straps to the sides, are kind of in the way. Weights are gonna be in our hands. I'm gonna take my feet right in between my shoulder blocks here, and my hands are at the edge of the box with my weight still in my hands. From this position, I'm gonna lift my butt up. I'm gonna set my back onto the box. So I'm aiming like bra line at the edge, and then I am gonna scoot a little further forward. So my shoulders and my head should really be the only thing on the box. And I'm gonna walk my feet out so they're more like in front of my shoulder blocks rather than in between my shoulder blocks. And we're all gonna lift our butts up so we're into a bridge. Think tuck your pelvis, send your tailbone towards your knees. My feet are about hip distance away from each other. Okay, just like how we started, chest press. Elbows bent at a 90-degree angle, palms should be facing our foot bars. This is going to be extremely heavy, just a heads up. I'm gonna try to pull my carriage in with my legs, and I'm gonna push my arms up, and then I'm gonna bend my elbows and release. So I'm gonna exhale, pull, push, and inhale back. Lots of hamstrings. Now, if you want it harder, walk your feet a little further out away from you. Exhale, inhale, pull out, and in again. Pressing the weights up. Keep your booties lifted. 4, feel those hamstrings. 3, 2, 1, and release. Ooh, stretch your legs if you need to. Okay. I'm just gonna set my weights on the floor. Okay, easiest way, I always like scoot back on the box. It's not elegant. And hands are gonna go to the sides. And now we're gonna sit off to the sides. Now, once we get off to the sides, all of our springs come off. Push your carriage out, grab your box, and replace it to the back end. Okay, now once we get it here, it's short box again. It's on both sides of your carriage and then, or on the frame, and then it's up against your foot bar. Your carriage is free to move with no box on top of it. And then we can grab our weights again. Make sure that your headrests are all the way down. Lie back down onto the carriage. Just careful you don't have any springs on. It's easy to move. Okay, with the weights today, this is gonna make it much more challenging for our hamstrings. I'm gonna take my heels to the top of the box. My knees are like right over my hips-ish here. And then I'm able to hold my neutral spine, pulling as close to the box as I can get it. So obviously if you're shorter, your feet will probably be a little closer to you than mine. And then last thing I'm gonna say is your heels can either be down like mine with the bottoms of the feet lifted, or you can go like a flat foot. That's up to you. My feet again are hip distance away. Okay, weights are in the hands at our sides. We're gonna inhale here in a neutral spine. On an exhale, I'm gonna flatten my low back down into the mat, and I'm gonna roll up into a bridge. Taking an inhale at the top. I'm gonna exhale and roll my spine back down. Inhaling in my neutral, trying to keep my carriage from moving. Keep going in and out of your bridges. Think again, send the tailbone to the backs and knees. Roll up one bone at a time, roll down one bone at a time. We're gonna do 2 more. Try to keep those carriages still. Lots of hamstrings. And down. Ooh, okay, once we come down, we're gonna pause. If you need to stretch out your legs, you can stretch out your legs. I'm going to, again, set up with my heels down, hip distance away. I'm going to flatten my low back down, lift my hips up just about that fist distance. Now from here, I'm gonna open my arms wide out to the sides of the room. As I push my legs out, I'm gonna keep my arms open. As I pull in, I'm gonna reach my arms up to the ceiling. So as I push away, I'm opening my arms. As I pull in, my arms go back up. My butt stays lifted about a fist distance off the carriage the entire time. You should really feel your hamstrings and your glutes working to pull you in. Make sure that your feet are parallel. So those toes are pointed straight up to the ceiling, not out to the sides. 4, inhale away, exhale in, 2, and 1. Ooh, lots of hamstrings. Okay, set those weights aside. Give your hamstrings a stretch. I'm gonna pull my right one up. Stretch. Okay, other leg. Okay, carefully, just because you don't have any springs on, we're sitting off to the sides. And then we're gonna take our boxes off and they can just go back to their homes. Now, once our boxes go back, we're gonna go to 2 heavy springs. If you took your straps off like me, just make sure that they get hung back up and make sure they're not twisted when you hang them back up. So no twists in my straps, hang them up. Headrest can be up or down. And then we're gonna go ahead and lie ourselves down onto our reformers. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is stretch. So I'm gonna reach behind me, grab my long loops. They go into my feet. I'm gonna stretch out my hamstrings. My low back is flat. I'm just gonna tug on my ropes. Okay, then my legs are gonna go up to the ceiling, and don't worry about your neutral spine here. I'm actually gonna go into a flat back position here, and my feet are just like right over my hips. My legs are zipped together and my feet are parallel with each other. Okay, this first series, we are going to go into a flat back position, so do not, again, worry about your neutral spine. I'm gonna exhale, pull my legs straight down towards my springs, pause, keeping the legs zipped together. I'm gonna bend to my knees and towards my chest. That's when my low back goes down. I'm gonna extend my legs up to the ceiling and my butt is slightly lifted too when I do that. I'm gonna exhale, pull down, inhale, bend, and extend back up. Try to keep the legs together the entire time. And again, I am letting my butt kind of lift off of the carriage, allowing myself to get more of a stretch in the backs of the legs and my low back. Exhale to pull, inhale, bend, extend. Okay, last one. And then when my legs go back up, I'm gonna pause and then we're gonna reverse. So now we're gonna bend our knees in. We're gonna push our legs out. I'm hinging to come back up. Again, I'm just letting my low back go flat and my butt kind of lift slightly up. I'm almost thinking about this like a mini short spine massage. So I hinge up, I bend, and I exhale as I push my legs back out. Trying again to keep my legs zipped together. I'm feeling my inner thighs work to keep my legs together. Two more. And then last one. Now, once I bring my legs back up, I'm gonna find my neutral spine again. My legs are still zipped together, my feet are still parallel. I'm exhaling just to lower my legs straight down towards my springs. I'm keeping my bra line heavy, and then I'm hinging at my hips to come back up. My sacrum stays heavy. Exhaling to pull straight down, and inhaling to come back up. Again, drawing the abs in as we pull, and then inhale, hinge back up. We're just gonna do 3 more. Now in this last one, I'm gonna hold my legs down, bring my feet and my knees about a fist distance away from each other. I'm gonna hold that little distance out for this entire series. It's gonna be a little more challenging because we're used to keeping them together. So keep the feet, the knees, again, fist distance away. I'm gonna bend both knees in for squats. The strap should end up on the tops of my shins. I'm still in a neutral spine and I'm pushing my legs out. And when I push out, I'm pulling my heels down towards the springs. Again, a neutral spine the entire time. Inhale, bend, and exhale to push back out. Drawing the abs in. Bra lines stay heavy. Shouldn't feel too heavy right now. Eventually we are gonna make these a little more challenging. Okay, for 2 and 1. Now when I bend both knees in, again, I'm gonna keep my knees, feet about that fist distance away. We will get slack in one of our ropes. Single leg squats, pelvis stays still. I'm gonna push my right leg out, pull it slightly down. Left knee should stay tabletop. I'm bending my right knee back in. I'm gonna push my left leg out, right knee stays tabletop, and then I'm bending to come back in. So alternating single leg squats. Again, when you push out, I want you to pull your heel slightly down towards these springs, keeping your pelvis again nice and still. These should be slow and controlled. Scooping into our core every time we push out. Okay, we're gonna do 4 more. Two, and last one. Okay, now once I come back in, I'm gonna push both legs out, zip them together. Again, still holding our neutral, we're gonna lower our legs a little further down, open them wide out to the sides to circle our legs around back up. So now I'm exhaling to lower, I'm inhaling to circle around and back up. Down, around, and up. Again, sacrum stays heavy, pelvis just stays nice and still. Two more. And then last one in this direction, when we come back up, we're gonna pause at the top and we're gonna reverse. So we open our legs wide, we press them down and around, we're zipping them together, and then we're hinging at our hips again to come back up. Should feel our adductors working to zip the legs together. Two more. And then last one. Now, once I come back up, I'm gonna pause at the top. I'm gonna let my legs go straight up to the ceiling. My low back's just gonna be flat. I'm gonna pull on my ropes, give them a nice tug here, stretch out the backs of the legs. Then I'm gonna open them out to the sides, give my inner thighs a stretch. Okay, then I'm gonna take my straps off my pegs, hang them back up, and then we're gonna sit ourselves off to the sides. Okay, last thing, it's gonna be a medium spring. The 2 heavies come off. We're gonna kneel on our reformers facing the straps. My hands are gonna be onto the shoulder blocks. And we're just gonna finish off with a little stretch. So my toes, balls of my feet right now are on the wooden platform. My left knee is gonna stay down. I'm gonna push my right leg out and I'm gonna drop my hip down. I'm gonna hold. Now, if you want your hands to go a little closer towards you for more of an extension, you can. If you wanna swing your left leg so you're in more of a pigeon stretch, feel free. I just really want you to hold whatever feels best to stretch out your legs and your hips. You can drop down onto your forearms if you need to. Okay, then I'm gonna bring my carriage back in. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So right knee down, left foot stays on the platform, push out. And again, whatever you need to do to stretch out your legs, you can move into more of a pigeon. You can take your hands closer to you. It is up to you. And as always, we should be breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, lift your hip, bring your carriage all the way back in. Can sit ourselves off to the sides. We are all finished with that lower body workout. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today.